afternoon class of ours. It's a crash course. It is no longer a normal course in which we talk about mundane things. This is a very direct course. This is a course in which we are going to help you to really score well in your RC with a very specific aim of improving your skills very quickly. And we'll be discussing the questions. We'll be discussing relevant RCs with you. Okay, and the classes may be short, but they may be useful for you. They'll be very useful for you. So as I've discussed that, please. So for solving the RCs, you need to actually get your hands on good quality content, good quality questions. So for getting good quality questions, what is the source? The source can be Unacademy app, right? So you can install and you can download Unacademy app. And my name is Anupam, and I have more than 3,100 hours of CAT training under my belt. I have CAT training experience under my belt. I've trained more than 3,600 students for CAT, and I've also developed verbal ability questions for GMAT as well. And so for Unacademy learning app, please install it, please download, and please install it. Go to Plus, go to CAT, and subscribe. So only in the subscription model, we will be able to provide you with doubt solving sessions. We will be able to provide you with say the mock test and topic wise test and their analysis, right? So if you will not subscribe to the Unacademy platform, how will you be able to do that basically? So it is extremely imperative to get the subscription done. But even if you decide not to subscribe to Unacademy, this is again your choice. If you have already subscribed to some other platform, to some other coaching institution, but still there are a lot of free special classes which you can avail, and there are a lot of free quizzes also which you can avail on the Unacademy app without paying a single penny. But the point here is that since in the lockdown, the condition is that when the coaching institutions will open, you don't know. And as far as the online space is concerned, or as far as the offline space is concerned, the kind of quality and the kind of pricing which we are offering to you, this I think you will not be able to get. For 24 months it's just 18,900 rupees, and for 12 months it is 15,700. Of course, after using the code Saxena Live, which will give you 10% discount. And you also get EMI options on 6, 12 and 24 month subscription. Please also ask me some questions if you have, because the live chat is open. And all right, so please utilize it. And the thing is that we will be not only helping you for CAT, we'll be helping you for ZAT, GRE, GMAT, not GRE, GMAT, but basically for NMAT, for ZAT, for SNAP, for IFT. We'll be also helping you with GK. We'll be also helping you with other things such as your GDPI, the personal interview. So we'll be helping you in all these areas. So I think it is absolutely I think it's a good investment for your future. All right. So whenever you are trying to solve an I'm just looking at a moment. Somebody is there live. So whenever you're trying to solve an argumentative reading comprehension, a comprehension wherein you know, there's a debate going on, wherein there is an argument for a one side of the story, right? So in that kind of a scenario, one is basically trying to do what? One is basically trying to look for the key arguments. See what happens in an argumentative RC. The author is not trying to understand. He or she is not trying to analyze or assess or make you aware or become himself or herself aware of the problem, of the pros and cons, of the positive and negatives, you know, downsides and benefits of a particular problem or of a particular situation, particular policy, particular decision, particular step, okay, or you know, but the author has already made his or her mind either in support or in against of a certain idea. So either author is trying to say to support a certain idea, or the author is trying to is against a certain idea. So author will be from the very beginning very clear about his or her idea, or maybe say just within the last first paragraph or by the beginning of the second paragraph, the author will have spoken his or her mind that author doesn't agree with certain things, certain things were not correct. And then author will try and present arguments in support of his or her points. So, and the one more thing in by which you can find out that which of the that this particular RC is argumentative in nature. So why we divide these articles, these RCs? We divide it because your awareness improve, you know, because the ways in which, or the methods in which you are trying to look after a problem, or the methods in which you are trying to approach a problem of given in an RC, that approach can slightly vary, that approach can slightly be modified, and better results can be drawn out of your effort with whatever you're picking in. Because if you know that, okay, I don't have to read everything very in a very focused manner, I can increase my speed. You can increase your speed in certain areas, but you have to reduce your speed wherein the key arguments are coming, right? So what happens is that the points such as main idea, points such as central idea, points such as questions like best summary, questions like the primary purpose, questions like the title, questions like what the author is trying to say, okay, or what is the author's intention. This can be answered if you have understood the key arguments clearly, right? And if there are other database questions, or which of these questions, or which of these is not correct, these kind of questions, then you can sort of you know, be done with it. You can you'll be able to solve this question more easily. The purpose of the agenda is, okay. Let's try and solve this question here. If there are any questions, please let me know. I am not able to see any questions, so It says the idea of demarcating certain areas within the country certain areas within the country as special economic zones to promote investment and growth is not new. So special economic zones, they are created to spur the growth rate, to improve the kind of investment which a country is receiving. Okay, because what happens that the tax laws and other things and the tax rate, tax slabs, and other prices of say power, of say water, of say land, of say the yearly rates, the land rates, and the all these labor laws, they can be sometimes difficult for a private company or for a foreign company to invest or start working in a new country. So a large country unable to provide the kind of facilities and environment that can attract foreign investment through the country often finds it feasible and attractive to carve up some of its area where such facilities can be provided. So they are saying that a large country may attract certain amount of foreign investment into its country by so instead of having it everywhere in the country, they can create certain special zones where these values, where these additional benefits are given to the companies who are ready to invest into my own country. The laws and the procedure for setting up new industries are waived to make area business friendly with developed infrastructure and one window interaction with government. In addition, huge tax benefits are promised to lure in investors. China's experience shows that if chalked out and implemented with care, such a policy can accelerate the flow of capital and technology from abroad and thereby speed up growth. So here the author is saying that China's experience also shows that in a certain way, shows that these kind of policies, they can it can improve the flow of technology and capital from abroad, and it can thereby speed up the growth. Okay, I hope if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them thus far. So basically they're talking about that what is an SEZ. SEZ is done to attract foreign investment. The laws and the procedures, they are eased out, and huge tax benefits are given. There is generally a single window interaction with the government, and certain things like say there is a bit of developed in infrastructure. And China's experience has been amazing in this field. So the purpose of the first paragraph was to introduce or explain, or give us basic idea what is an SEZ and how it is implemented, why companies want to invest, why companies open up their offices and factories in an SEZ, and what has been China and the Chinese story has been very appealing for those countries who are trying to implement this model in their own country. However, SECs may not be best option in all situations to clear the bottlenecks in growth. India's experience with export processing zones bears it out. So immediately, like I told to you, that within first paragraph or in the very beginning of the second paragraph, it's little late. Generally, what happens in the first couple of lines or within the first paragraph itself, you will find that some argument is the author presents his views against, his views about what he believes and what has happened. So author is taking one side that the SEC may not be best option in all situation to clear what are the bottlenecks. Bottlenecks are the various stops, various problems, various impediment or obstruction in the growth. What is a bottleneck? If you look at a normal bottle, the base or the body of the bottle is very big, but the neck is thin, right? So the water flows, or water flows out, or water or liquid or medicine or whatever is it flows out of the bottle at a slightly slower rate, so that you can pour it easily. It doesn't, the glass doesn't flow over, or anything, or any sort of any utensil or apparatus doesn't sort of flow with the liquid. It goes slowly. But when it comes to growth, if there is certain amount of blockage, if there's an obstruction, then it can become difficult for growth, hence the word bottleneck. India's experience with export processing zones plays out. They have failed in India for simple reason that factors that made SCZ successful in China have been absent here. So what the author is saying that it has worked out for China, but it may not work out for India, right? It may not be true for everywhere. In India, as in China, the EPCs were thought of as a way of providing an escape route from the strange hold of control that prevailed over Indian economy. So they are saying that in India, as in China, they were thought over an escape route from the not strange hold, but is stranglehold. So what is stranglehold? Stranglehold is when there's what is strangling, when you sort of strangle somebody by your hand or by using your arm, So stranglehold it's a very negative term. You are sort of stopping growth or stopping somebody from breathing, taking the life of somebody. So like SEZs in China, EPZs, export processing zone, were thought of a solution to manage this bureaucracy, or the corruption, or the tax related problems, the labor laws, the infrastructure, the interaction with the government. All this can be solved by EPZs. But even while promising to ease the rigors of control, Indian policymakers could not give up their penchant mean their likeliness for certain things, for micromanaging from center and undoing the promised relaxation with all kinds of qualification and guidelines. So what the author is saying that, so from here they began to tell the reasons why it did not work out, because Indian policymakers, they were not ready to give up their control on these companies, wherein they said that they will be giving relaxations, but in terms of qualification and guidelines, by naming them, they have sort of not given. They have not. Basically, whatever the relaxation was required in terms of policies, in terms of laws and guidelines, that has not come up. It has actually remained same. So this purpose of this paragraph is to tell that India's story, that India's experience with SEZ has not been as good as China. Reason is that at the center level, the kind of relaxations which should have come, they have not come. Their names have been changed, but there is actually no relaxation. Over last 2 decades, India has evolved into a market economy, and much of the government control has disappeared. So they're saying that India has developed into a market economy, and the government control has disappeared. So, but flow of foreign direct investment has not reached anywhere near the levels of China. So now they're saying that this is an improvement, but the FDI hasn't reached anywhere the kind of investment we're seeing in China. Besides, infrastructure building has fallen short of what is required. They're saying, when you say besides, so besides is a term which is used to say additionally that okay, this is no, after besides, whatever will become will be an additional point or additional reason. Basically, besides the earlier point which was mentioned, infrastructure building has fallen far short of what is required. So infrastructure building has short. Even after 3 years of the enactment of the Electricity Act, private investment in electricity generation is still a trickle, with states refusing to give up the monopoly of their electricity boards in the matter of purchase of power generated. So they are saying that the states governments are not ready to give up the monopoly, and because of this, the private investment has sort of hit. It's just one of the reasons, basically. While in matters of purchase of power, while swearing with the growth, governments at both center and state cite fiscal responsibility laws to plead their helplessness in making the required investment to improve in infrastructure. So they're saying that both the governments at state and center, they have not been able to provide the kind of infrastructure because they have some financial calendar responsibility laws, probably they cannot invest more because for infrastructure there are some financial responsibility laws are also there, which they have to adhere to before they themselves invest, or they take in investment from outside. So in this part they're talking about, they give an example of the power boards, of the electricity boards at the state level, and they're also the reason why there is no investment, or why they are not able to, the governments are not able to invest in the infrastructure. Given this situation, the SEZs have apparently been thought of as a simple way out. Given these situations, the SEZs have apparently been thought of a simple way out. In its enthusiasm for SEZs, the Commerce Ministry forgot 2 critical lessons of Chinese experience. They're saying that in their enthusiasm, Commerce Ministry did not take into consideration two important lessons. That an SEZ must be an adequate size to provide opportunities for reaping benefits of large-scale operations, and their number should be few. They're saying that the SEZ should be of a certain size and the number should be few. Every industry or economic activity worth its name is now seeking SEZ status. Proposals are now being floated to invite foreign education institutions to come to India with promises of SEZ treatment. So they are saying that the size should be good and the number should be few, and every industry should not be given the SEZ status. The proposals are now being floated to invite foreign education institutions to come to India with SEZ treatment, with the promises of SEZ treatment. Finance Ministry apprehends a loss of nearly 1,75,000 crores in direct transfers, custom duties and excise duties over the next 5 years. So we cannot provide SEZ status for every industry, because if we do that, we are going to we're going to, because when you bring in company from outside and you promise them an SEZ, you are promising them certain tax benefits, and since you're promising them certain tax benefits, you are in a way providing them basically an opportunity. Basically, you are what you're doing is that you are giving them rebate on the tax which you charge from them. So when you are giving them a discount on taxes, it is going to be your loss, right? Because your taxes and everything has been made with an intention to achieve certain level of revenue, and that revenue will be utilized in overall development of the country, or an overall and in the development of that very, very specific field from where these taxes are coming in, basically. So this is how it is. 52 says, let's read the question. So basically, if you look at it, the purpose of the entire passage was nothing much, but it was just that to sort of discuss that SEZs are used in China's experience has been amazing, and why the SEZs are done, and how companies benefit, and why does country gives them rebate. So China's experience has been good, but India's experience has not been good because there was some micromanagement from the center, and states have also been rigid in giving up their monopoly. And it says here that the next line says that a certain amount of problem is, they're also saying that the problem here is that that number of the SEZ should be few, and they should be of adequate size, so that they are large scale operations can be done there. If you look at the SEZ status, generally SEZs are, for example, in Bangalore, if I see, again there is no political statement, just an observation of a common person in this country. SEZ aren't that big in a sense. Like, they are big, but if we look at from a manufacturing standpoint, if we look at from the IT standpoint, they could have been even made double of the size, because SEZ I used to work on Ring Road around 4 years back. That wasn't such a big project. The objective of the author in writing the above passage seems to be the objective of the author in writing the above passage. What is the objective of the author? So we know that there is mainly the author was talking about in last 3 paragraphs that there was a failure from the Indian policymaker side, right? There was a failure of the Indian policymakers regarding EPZs, right? Pros and cons of SEZ, no, it did not do. Compare between Indian EPZs and channel SEZ, no, it did not do. oppose the proliferation means the spread of SEZs, or the SEZs are too many SEZs, or so SEZ, he is not arguing about that. Argue that India should imitate Chinese policies regarding SEZs. No, he did not say that. He said that failure of Indian policymakers regarding EPZs. Author's argument suggests the following conclusion: except SEZs may be the best option for countries unable to provide infrastructure. Best option except is maybe the best option. He never said it's a best option, but still, let's read further. So B says, but this can be we have to look for something which cannot be successfully concluded. So since we know that he never mentioned that SEZ may be the best option, but since he is using the word maybe, there is a certain amount of assumption here. But let's hold our horses. Let's read if we can eliminate everything else, and then we come to realize that yes, A is the right answer. Let's do that. SEZ must be large enough to house large-scale operations. Yeah, this is mentioned there. So this is not the answer. Fiscal responsibilities law actually limit the investment on infrastructure by government of India. Yeah, this was mentioned here because in the case of when they were talking about the governments at both center and, so in the second last paragraph, the government at both center and state cite the fiscal responsibilities law to plead their helplessness in making the required investments to improve in infrastructure. Governments of India must limit the number of SEZ. Yeah, so this was said in the last paragraph. The government was giving SEZ status to too many industries and too many companies. And SEZ caused loss of tax revenue to the central government. Yeah, this was also said. So yeah, like we discussed in the beginning, A is the right answer. Author does not oppose. Author does not oppose what? So we have to, so see, does not oppose. So one of them will be something which author has either supported or he has not spoken about. Right? So if he is supporting it, the author will not oppose it. 1. 2, if the author hasn't mentioned it at all, then also author is not opposing it. Right? So there is this verbal ability, this verbal reasoning skill is applied. Then if the author hasn't mentioned it at all, then also the author doesn't oppose it, and the author supports it also, then also the author is not opposing it. The SEZ's treatment of foreign educational, so author has opposed this because it was given in the last paragraph. Author opposes the SEZ treatment given to foreign education institutions in India. Qualifiers undoing the relaxation of government control. Yeah, author has opposed these qualifiers. So author tax benefits to strategically promote SEZ. Author hasn't opposed this. Author has not opposed this. So maybe this is the right answer. Monopoly of state electricity board in power purchase. Yeah, author has opposed this. Lack of government initiative in infrastructure. Correct. So C is the right answer. So we've seen that in both the 54 and 53 we got the right answer, but we went ahead to read the other options also. So my point is that if we are confident that whatever we are reading and whatever we are reading is correct, let's mark that answer. Let's save these 5 minutes. Right? Let's save, because we know that tax benefits is strategically promote SEZ. This has not been said. This author never opposed. Right? And SEZ is maybe the best option for countries unable to provide infrastructure and business environment. This author also did never suggest. So they were looking for such authors argument suggest which of the following except. Suggest the following except. So yeah, so we can also be doing this. Okay. The passage was most likely written in the year 91, 2001, 2006, 2011. Okay. Was there ever a mention of any dates anywhere? So they have said that even after 3 years of enactment of the electricity to 2003, private investment in electricity generation is still a trigger. So private investment is, that is talking about present. 3 years after 2003 is 2006. Option number D. All right, I think we wanted to do something very strong with you, so we have done it. Okay, so like we understood that so for example, if we were say let's do this part also. Authors does not oppose. Or if we take a difficult question. The objective of the author in writing the above passage seems to be. So if in case of, instead of A, if we took say E, because E is a close answer. Okay. Argue that India should imitate Chinese policies. That objective of the author in writing the above passage seems to be that argue that India should imitate Chinese policies regarding SEZs. One point is that author said that if something has worked in China, it might not work in India. It says SEZ may not be the best option in all situations to clear bottleneck in growth. It may not be the best option in all the situations that author has said. Also, in paragraph number 2 and 3, author has clearly criticized the Indian policymakers, the Indian governments at the state level and at the central level. Also, but only in the last paragraph there is a reference that Commerce Ministry forgot 2 critical lessons of Chinese experience. So he's saying that you should draw in from the Chinese experience. That is, you should not make glaring errors. But that doesn't mean that he only argued about imitating the Chinese policies. He said that lessons should be understood. How can a policy which was implemented in a certain way in China can be done in India? India and China are two very different, work. Obviously, it's a, there will be a very different way of functioning, right? The entire infrastructure, the entire hierarchy of officers, the way things are signed, the way things are, the approvals are taken, the way people are hired, the way contracts are given, the way salaries are given, the way the feedback is taken. There'll be land is procured. So author has never said. Author just said that critical lessons were missed out. So saying that, if a person said that China should imitate the Chinese policies regarding SEZs, if this is the right answer, then what is happening here is that lesson learned is that we did not understand the purpose of the passage. We misunderstood an idea mentioned in the last paragraph with a different intention, because the intention behind the last paragraph was just drawing attention to a glaring error. So we understood an idea mentioned in the last paragraph with a different intention. To be the right to be true for the entire person. What are the corrective measures? We must take notes of every para, understand paragraph is specific purpose and idea. Okay, and read the ideas with correct context. Right. So if somewhere it is mentioned that that Commerce Ministry forgot 2 critical lessons of Chinese experience, then it must be understood in the correct way. That this is not something that India should imitate the Chinese policies. This is just a glaring error which the author is pointing out. That is all. All right then. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to Unacademy. You will get live classes. We give an interaction with the educator. You get live polls, leaderboard, test series and analysis, and you also get live doubt clearing sessions. Okay, and like I've said that it's a good investment, and we'll be helping you after CAT also. We'll be helping you in GD group discussion, person interview round also. Use the code Saxena Live to get 10% discount. Thank you very much. Also, there are a lot of free special classes on our app.